philosophy of life do you subscribe to? Has to keep going.
The objectivist philosophy of life.
Okay, and why? What drew you to it?
Well, I'd always been interested in philosophy. Had read the works of various philosophers and discovered at one point that I was in a quandary as to what the real role of philosophy in life was. And then I came across the works of Ayn Rand. And as Ayn Rand said, philosophy is for living on earth, pure and simple. That's all it is. Many people first coming to philosophy become confused because of the strong mystic, irrational element of philosophy. But once you read Ayn Rand and you stay with it, you finally realize that it's not all that complicated. And the real role of philosophy is to help man make choices. As long as man is confronted with choices, he's going to need a philosophy, a value system. And after reading Ayn Rand's philosophy, I realized that hers was the most thoroughly reasoned, the most logical, the most consistent. And I've adopted it, and I've tried to live it with lapses from time to time. But that's the responsibility of the individual over time, is to consistently apply the philosophy, and that's what I'm still working on.
You know, it's good. I don't know if you find this, but in my own example or experience with Ayn Rand is that you read it and become so engrossed that it's like kerosene on a fire, but then in comes the crow epistemology sort of thing. And I find that I have to back off for a while to let the cells sort of cool down a bit.
Well, you have to integrate it. Reading it is one thing.
But then I also find that after a lapse of it, like where there's a void of reading any of that literature, I find a real hunger to get back into it again.
Well, this is the hard part of things that a lot of people have with not just Ayn Rand's philosophy, but any philosophy. You can read about it and get excited about it and understand it, but it's the daily application that's important. You've got to think about it and perhaps write about it and apply it to every moment of your life, and this takes discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the reasons why some people have steered away from Ayn Rand's philosophy. I tried to get a couple of friends of mine involved in it a few years back, and they both, after a few months, said that it was too demanding. And, I thought was a lame excuse. Life is demanding.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think the problem is daily application. Once you read it, you've got to make
Well, I found, when you read it, I find it's like a seed has been planted of truth.
Yeah.
And when you're away from it, it begins to germinate a bit, and you find yourself saying, well, God, that's right. You gotta...
Well, it's very easy to read it and then go about your daily affairs and forget about it. If you're going to apply it, you've got to be obsessed with it for a while.
Yeah.
You've got to think about it and how it applies to situations in your life. At various periods when I was reading the objectivist literature a lot, I would take every opportunity to reflect on it during the day while I was driving down the freeway, caught in traffic snafus, or during private moments when I had time alone. I would reflect on my own life situations and see where the philosophy applied, whether I did apply it or not, and resolve to apply it more consistently in the future.
So these days, would it be safe to say that Ayn Rand has superseded Nietzsche as your training partner?
Yeah, for sure. My life partner.
Okay, and what books or individuals have influenced you the most? I know Rand is obviously right up at the top.
Yeah, Ayn Rand has been the biggest intellectual influence by far. Before that, Henry Miller was a big influence, whom I've already mentioned. R.D. Laing, the radical psychiatrist from years back. Arthur Jones, of course, with his writing, not just insofar as it influenced my training, but the way he actually wrote influenced me.
Mm-hmm.
The precision he used, the logic, the consistent reasoning. I found Arthur Jones's writing very similar in style to Ayn Rand's.
Very direct. And,
yeah.
So you'd say most of her books. I also know you read Victor Hugo.
Yeah, I like his writing also. I'm into Edgar Allan Poe at the moment. And from time to time make forays into literature just to expand my knowledge of literature in general. In the near future, I want to